Hello my peculiars and welcome back or welcome to my peculiar corner if you're new here. My name is Andy and here we are with yet another magical encounter. I hope you're doing well and I hope you had an amazing week and you are ready for another fantastical journey into the world of magical creatures, because today we are going to explore the deep oceans and deep seas of the world with the secret history of mermaids. We have another book by Professor Ari Berg. As you know, last week we discovered the world of the hobgoblins, and today I really want to show you this book about mermaids. Now, this book is in Romanian, but obviously I'm going to try and translate for you as much as possible in English so you understand, and then I'm going to put in the description links for you to get the book in English. So yeah, but without further ado, let's crack on with the show. Here I am back from the Peculiar Library with a beautiful copy of the Secret History of Mermaids. Now, compared to the last book, here you can see that we have beautiful gems on the book. Again, silver foil this time and a beautiful bookmark, I would say. It's very nice touch. It adds that kind of like an old medieval magic to the book. Now, here on the back we have mermaids, creatures of the seas and of the deep waters. Dear friend of the secret realms, for thousands of years the Order of the Golden Quills are gathering I don't know, facts about the secret realms, which lives continues beyond our stories and legends. In this book, we are going to tell you everything we know about the mysterious mermaids, their irresistible songs, their abilities, their extraordinary abilities, and their secret magic. Immerse yourself into the aquatic world and find out the dark past. Discover lost worlds under the water, explore underwater cities, meet the seal people, mermaids, and other creatures of the sea, and be the witness of the terrifying adventures from the deep waters. Sharing with you this secret history, the Order of the Golden Quills gifts to the world knowledge and wisdom, bringing peace and like good communication, I would say, between all the realms of the world. Now, I'm sorry it took a bit to translate that, but it literally, I was translating it as I was reading it. So yeah, and it's also very early in the morning. But anyway, let's dig into. Of course, I had the really bad habit of writing on my books back then, so you can see I got this book on 29th of November in 2014. Here we have the Order of the Golden Quills and Mermaids. And here we have the Old and Honorable Council, Oceanic Council of the Order. And we have something in Latin here. And it says, teach me how to hear the mermaids singing. The Oath of the Order, the Castle of the Order. Here we have a beautiful map. Here we have the cave the cave of the mermaids, that should be full of weird things, let's say, and obviously treasures from the deep. It's very beautifully illustrated. Here we have the origins of mermaids. Of course, this book also has a bit of like flip-flops, like all these kind of pop-ups and so on. Here we have some witness like adventures. Then we have theories regarding the origins of the mermaids. Here we have their aspect and their anatomy. We have Tritons, we have the Cornwall mermaids, then we have the mermaids from the really deep sea, which we know, the Mariana Trench, for example, and of course this one. It's opening, and here we have the anatomy. Then we have armors and any other weapons that they are using to protect themselves, but this is a very beautiful illustration that could easily be a tattoo. Then here we have the language and the communication. Here we have some rhymes and some riddles of the mermaids. Here we have something about the different languages, because of course, as you know, as we speak different languages, so the mermaids. Then we have sea and the signification of the sea, like the meaning of the sea, and some wrong meanings, wrong signification, some wrong meanings, yeah. Then we have the mermaid villages, which always reminds me of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, to be honest. It's very nicely illustrated, and I really hope you can see it properly. I will bring it a bit closer so you can see. Again, I'm sorry if I'm a bit slower today, but it really is very early in the morning. Here we have the cave of a mermaid, and it's beautiful and full of jewels and gemstones and pearls and so on. Very nice illustration. Here we have something about ships that sank, and here we have something about the protectors of the mermaids and their pets, because they also have pets. As we know from the Goblet of Fire, they had fluidums, right? I hope I'm not wrong, but as far as I remember, they had fluidums, like Grindylows, sorry, as pets. Here we have meetings with the people of the sea. Here we have some stories. We have the Wild Man of Ore, Henry Hudson, the Maya dynasty, and here we have the story of Gervais from Tilbury, and here we have Oannes of Babylon. So very nice stories from history. Here we have about the Triton of Tanagra and the story of Noah as well. Here we have gifts from mermaids. Very nicely done. Here we have some marine charms. Here we have the fires of Saint Elmo. And here we have something about shells, bones and found objects by Lady Morclass from Golf La Morna. And here we have something about mirror traditions and how to use them. And here is like a word of caution from the Order of the Golden Quills. Here we have something about corals, sea bones, fossils, and it expands even more. And we have something about Colin Druid or the charmed hats. Here we have the sea mouse, something about auguries, I guess. But yeah, very nicely done and beautiful illustrations. Also very educational, as we know it, all of the books. Here we have a dark history, the Mermaid of Fiji. And here we have some hammerhand blacksmiths, masters and, well, blacksmiths. And we have a nice list, like a receipt. Here there are some stories about capturing mermaids, the circus, mermaids at the circus. Here we have some warnings and precautions. Then here we have revenges and curses, the Dune of the Damned. Here we have something about the Storm Council, Here we have how is it called? Revengeful Wave. Then here we have Lost Worlds. We have Atlantis, Lyonese, Kumari Kandam, and a bit about each. Of course, we all know the story of Atlantis, and I would like you to let me know in the comments below, where do you think Atlantis is? Here we have the trident and other weapons of the mermaids. Again, beautifully done, and such a, you know, such a vast and rich imagination. Here we have a beautiful map, and it's a map of the marine areas, dangerous regions, and areas in which mermaids were seen. And here we have also a map of the depth of the seas. As we know, the zones, we already explored this in the oceanology book. And here we have even that zones of the sea. Here we have a legend. I will bring the map closer because they have, here is the legend, so you can see like the corals. Here we have Charybda, where mermaids were seen, depth areas, up underwater volcanoes, and the beautiful map with the oceans of the world. You can pause and check it out in more depth. Here we have dangerous magical, sorry, I'm thinking only about magical creatures. Well, they are, but dangerous marine creatures. Here we have something about the blue people of Ming. Then we have the Kraken. Then we have the Leviathan. And something about the winged mermaids. Something about Brigdi. And here we have the good tribes of the oceanic community. Then we have the water taurus, the seahorse, of course we have the sea cow, the blue whale, and here we have the songs of the sea, and we have some mermaid songs here, and songs about mermaids and songs that mermaids are singing. Here we have something about the laws and territories, and here we have the ancient code of Atargatis, and here we have the dragon kings of the sea. We have the dragon king of the north, south, west and east. Here we have something about the mermaid's artifacts. Rich and weird. Here we have the mermaid from Zenor. The trumpet of the Triton, and then we have the amulets and the cage of the souls. And here we also have the story of the mermaids of Zenor. Now, of course, as I already mentioned before in my previous videos, I would like to translate these stories, and the ones that are in English we are just gonna explore together from the other books that I have, because there are many stories, so I think that it would be nice to really go more in depth and discover the stories together. Here we have the seal people, transformation, the children of Selkies. And here we have a song, the song of the grey seal. Then we have Selkies. Here we have something about the relationships between people and mermaids, the lost children, going back to the sea. Here we have something about the marriages between mermaids and people and humans. And there it is. This was the book. Now, I don't remember how much I paid on it, to be honest. As I said, I bought it back in Romania. It was translated. It's this one, and actually the next book that we are going to discover next week about giants, the secret history of giants. It's also in Romanian. They translated only those two. The Hobgoblins was only in English, but I'm planning in the future, if possible. I don't tend to get same book twice, but I would love to have this in English as well. For some reason, it's just like, you know, for the last couple of years, I'm speaking mainly English, and I would really love to, you know, I don't know, it just seems more natural for me to just read in English. So maybe one day I'm gonna get it in English as well. I know that there are copies there, even new ones. If you want to get, as I said in the beginning of this video, I'm gonna put in the description the links to that. But I really hope you enjoyed this week's video and you enjoyed discovering another beautiful and magical book. Next week we are going to discover the giants, and then we are going to go back to our ology series because we still have some books from there to discover. But until then, don't forget two very important things. Stay magical, stay peculiar, always. Bye for now.